Good morning, afternoon, evening out there in podcast land. This is Tammy, Texas Desert Rose here, broadcasting from Bahrain, the land of sand, and from Denton, Texas, 30 miles north of Dallas and Fort Worth. And what in the world am I doing in the Middle East? Well, over time, I think you're going to probably feel like you should be here too. It's an amazing place here in Bahrain. Very open, especially for a Middle East country, and all cultures are welcome. We'll be doing some exposés about the cultures as well in future episodes. But today I think it's very fitting here on the 13th of February to talk about love, Mars and Venus, men and women, and how we are so different. Okay, so Mars and Venus. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. Some of you have heard of it, some of you haven't. It's the handiwork of Dr. John Gray. There's a series of books and all sorts of YouTubes and I'm sure many, many podcasts out there about this idea that men are from Mars and we women are from Venus. Martians and Venusians, we think very differently. So today we're going to focus a little bit on that and maybe help you to have a greater understanding of not only yourself, but the person that you're with. Okay, so let's start here. When men have high testosterone, they solve problems. That's what their brains are made for, okay? When they have low testosterone, their brains pretty much stop. They go mindless. So when a man gets home from work where he is problem solved, high testosterone all day long, he goes into a mindless state, whether it be television, video, whatever his thing is, football, sports in general, golf, whatever that is. And as you will hear in a little bit, we women gear up. Our minds get busy and active when we get home, okay? In the work environment, the man has to have his problem solving and all of his energy. So when he gets home is when he preserves that energy for the next day when he'll have to go into problem solving again. So in the home environment, there are no problems to solve for him. So the testosterone lowers and he goes mindless to prepare for the next day. Here's the secret. The constant state of low testosterone equals depression. So, in general, men, believe it or not, need to know they make a difference. Not just complaints or repeated requests over and over again, women. They need to know they make a difference, which means they need to be needed, not needy. And we'll get more into that, okay? If men can't fix it, they check out and they lay low. That's what they do. Think of, say, a very Texas example of a tornado. When there's like a tornado, men lay low. That's what they're trained for. They're ready to lay low, see what happens, solve the problem if they need to. Women, we jump right in and say, what's happening? How can I help? Who needs food? Who needs water? That's what we do, and that's what we're good at. So you can already see where there's a huge difference between the male and the female, and it could certainly be ripe for controversy and conflict in a relationship of any kind, even if that relationship is a working relationship. Okay? Some more facts here, some biology I'm going to throw at you. Women have 8 times the hippocampus, that's a brain, part of the brain, as men do. So when in a crisis, our brains are flooded with all the memories of the bad stuff. Let me explain. Say something happens and you totally start to remember something that occurred related to that with your partner. You didn't remember it before, but when something happens, you stress out, it all starts flooding in. That's what our hippocampus do to us. Or for us, depends on how you look at it, I guess. Men, they have a smaller hippocampus. They don't do that. And as we'll hear in a little bit, They have a different part of the brain that's larger that allows them to remember so much. So, what did I say about men? When they're not problem solving, their brains stop. When we get stressed out, all of our memories come in. Their brains stop. So when the bad stuff starts coming in, that's when we start complaining, requesting, why didn't you? You said you were gonna. What's going on? And we start trying to fix the problem. It's absolutely the worst way to motivate a man. If you overdo and jump in instead of allowing him to problem solve, you are training him to do less. Not just training him. Most of the men that come in and talk to me in my office, because remember, I'm a licensed professional counselor, I see clients, they will say, I gave up because anything I did wasn't good enough. And she'll jump in and do it anyway. And so women, you're resenting because you're doing. Maybe it's the man in the house rather than the woman, but the overdoer resents it and the underdoer continues to underdo. So under stress, that's when we women are the most productive. Think about coffee connections. Women talk. We get invigorated because our oxytocin is higher. That's when men chill and listen because they like to see their woman happy. That is when they're thrilled. So here's the formula. Increased oxytocin in women when we're connecting equals increased happiness. Increased happiness equals increased testosterone in the man, which equals their happiness. Doesn't necessarily go the opposite way, but this is the formula this direction. Again, high oxytocin in women, increased happiness, which equals increased testosterone in men, which is increasing their happiness, more importantly, decreasing their stress and depression. That is the secret. A man wants to feel wanted and needed and productive. So women, give it a try. Catch them doing something good. Act happy, be happy, and watch what happens. They get motivated. They really, whether they admit it or not, they want to make you happy. So you might be thinking, why doesn't he make me happy? Why doesn't he try harder? Well, this is kind of a complicated question. Perhaps he tried and it didn't work, and so he gave up. Or, remember, the way we stay motivated is we continue and we say the same things over and over again. Again, that is the worst thing to do with the men. That actually makes them shut down. So, okay. Ultimately, bottom line, Martians don't think like Venusians. Venusians don't think like Martians. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. So women, when you need something from your man, here's a suggestion. Ask one time. If you repeat yourself over and over, days and days, that is considered needy instead of needing. They need to be needed, okay? No demands, no controlling it. When you ask, simply say, would you do this for me? And, let go and allow them to do it in their way. Now, you may have to bite your tongue, or men, maybe you play this role. You may have to bite your tongue, not to critique, and didn't you listen to me? This is what I wanted, not this. What we're trying to do is encourage this behavior, and this is how you do it. We're human beings. We need to be needed, and men need to see their woman happy, okay? And another suggestion, don't say to him, we need to talk. Say, let's talk a minute. Even if it's not going to be a minute, we know it's not. But this lets the man know that it's not going to take that long, because when they hear, we need to talk, they assume it's something that they did wrong. And instead of hearing, hey, I did something wrong, they hear, I need to change who I am. I'm not enough for her. And also, women, don't say, you don't appreciate me. You don't appreciate me, because men are not wired to appreciate. That's a woman thing. That's connection. That's oxytocin. The man thing is to problem solve. And guess what? If our estrogen is low, we don't appreciate either. So we're trying to work within their brain framework, okay, and hopefully helping them to work within ours. So a woman's goal is to be understood. A man's goal is to fix, period. Black, white, simple. They want to fix. They need to fix. Okay, and ladies, just simply make a list. Hand it to your partner. If they don't do it, and you step in and just do it, like I said before, you're training your partner to do less. And it's not necessarily because they want to do less, but it is, they don't know how to make it okay. They don't know how to make it good enough. All of those things. And also, remember, their priority is comfort, as we'll talk about in a moment. So it's all toward that end. Also, we stress about the little things. Well, men don't stress about little things. We want them to do the little things. Well, that's not necessarily how they're wired. They don't stress over small things, only medium to big things. So ask for what you need one time. That's what you stress about. He's not supposed to read your mind. You're not supposed to read his mind. Repeating yourself induces him to turn his brain off because he's thinking that he needs to change himself completely. Now, it's not true. You just simply want him to do these things you've asked him to do, but he's thinking, I'm not enough. It's never good enough. She's going to come back and redo it and fix it anyway. And so when he turns his brain off, you stop talking. When you stop talking, remember, your oxytocin goes down because talking increases oxytocin for women, which makes them happy, which in turn increases his testosterone and makes him happy. See? So if you stop talking, therefore your oxytocin goes down, it's going to equal you being unhappy, therefore him unhappy. And he wants you to be happy. Did you know, just an aside, 80% of clients for counselors are women because we need to talk. It's how we keep and find and keep our joy. Another thing, men will rationalize when they need rest. It's not because they're lazy. That is their priority, is to preserve the testosterone for problem-solving times. So like I said, when they get home from work, you're going to see them make reasons to rest, even for a short time. It may work better for him when you guys get home from work, when he gets home from work, whatever, that he has that time to rest and preserve. Then make your requests. Okay? Just whatever works for you guys, and depending on your schedule. Obviously, one formula doesn't work for everybody. So again, men will rationalize and prioritize rest. Women think of others first. That's where our oxytocin comes from. So we're never going to stop if it's benefiting someone else overall. I mean, I think as age comes, we learn to set our boundaries and work in our priorities as well. But overall, we're not wired that way in the beginning. Excuse me. Another thing is, big old bomb here, but men need intimacy at least once a week, according to research, to increase their testosterone. Now, let me tell you why that's important. Testosterone governs their heart health, overall body health, everything. And the studies have shown that at least weekly intimacy increases that testosterone and helps their hearts in general, which increases their energy, which means they'll do more, okay? But too much oxytocin in men makes them tired. That's the reason for the benches at the malls and shopping areas. That is the reason why after intimacy we want to talk, because our oxytocin is higher. Well, guess what? It makes them sleepy. Too much oxytocin for them makes them sleepy. It does not affect us that way. So basically, if you think about it, all the things that we want to do, talk, connect, go do things, shop together, go have dinner and talk, those are all things that increase oxytocin for us, but also for them, which means it